In this video, we will discuss Week 15 of the NCAA women's basketball. We will start with the AP Top 10 teams, the injury report, the AP Top 25 undefeated teams, the AP Top 25 exits and enters, great matchups from last week as some Goliath teams fell, and must watch for Week 16. Hi, and welcome to Davis Sports Report. We'd love it if you'd hit the subscribe button to help us grow the channel and help you get notified when we drop new content. Also, please hit that like button to help us get into the algorithm. The AP Top 10 had quite a bit of movement this week, but one team that didn't change is UCLA, remaining at number 1. Notre Dame moved up 1 and are now number 2. Texas moved up 1 and they are now number 3. South Carolina suffered a loss this week and moved down 2 points to number 4. LSU had no losses and moved up 1 to number 5. USC had no losses and moved up 1 to number 6. UConn took a loss last week, so they moved down 2 to number 7. Kentucky had no losses last week and moved up 3 to number 8. They did have 2 great wins over ranked Alabama and Oklahoma. Ohio State suffered a loss and moved down by 1 to number 8. And North Carolina State had 2 impressive wins over ranked teams and moved up by 4 to number 10. On the injury report, Aaliyah Moore of Texas is out due to a knee pain. Her last game was January 23rd against Texas, but this injury was not sustained during that game. Texas states that Moore will be out for an extended period of time, and Coach Schaefer has not given an update on her return. Also, Kansas State, Ayoka Lee is still out with a foot injury, still probable to return before end of season. The only team that remains undefeated is the UCLA Bruins. For the AP Top 25 exiting, its end of year and competition has intensified as new teams are finding their footing and others are tiring out. As you can see, there was a good deal of movement. The biggest fall in the 11 to 25 ranking was Duke, that fell 3 points and is no longer in the top 10. And the biggest jump was Oklahoma State, that rose 5. Exiting the top 25 are the Cal Bears, who took back-to-back losses, one to unranked Louisville, and Vanderbilt Commodores, who also took back-to-back losses, one of those to unranked Ole Miss. And since there were 2 exits, that means we get 2 new entries, and that would be Creighton with a 20-4 record and Baylor with a 20-5 record. Now let's check out those great matchups from last week. First, number 14 North Carolina State took out number 10 Duke. How? One name, Isaiah James, putting up a career-high 36 points and 6 rebounds, scoring 27 of those 36 in the second half at pivotal moments of this very close game. Zoe Brooks contributed 15 points and Sanaya Rivers added 13. Freshman Tilda Triggers and senior Madison Hayes held the boards with 7 rebounds each. Duke's high scorer was Ashlyn Jackson with 23 points and Tana Mayer with 21. The Lady Wolfpack were wearing pink in honor of Hall of Fame coach Kay Yao to raise money for cancer awareness. Next, number 12 Kansas State defeated number 9 TCU. The expectation going into this game was that 6'7" Sedona Prince would be the X factor, but that wasn't the case. While Prince did have a double-double, 14 points and 10 rebounds, her scoring was below her average. As well, Haley Van Lith only had 11 points, and Madison Connor, who only contributed 8. While on the other side, Serena Sindel had a stellar night, putting up a season-high 27 points. The first half was as sloppy as it comes. At the end of it all, TCU had 17 turnovers in the game. Kansas State's win puts them in the first spot for the Big 12 Conference.
That's been an ongoing thing all year because it was pretty even at halftime. But the bottom line is, we have some players on our team that are supposed to be our best players, and they got to play better. That's all there is to it.
Paige has had trouble getting going, it seems like, in a few of these bigger games now. I mean, just what do you feel like is kind of the block with her in terms of being able to start as hot as she has in Big East play?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's a real kind of conundrum, you know. Paige wants the ball in her hands all the time. Then when they trap her, she don't want the ball in her hands. So then we try to get her moving from, you know, one thing to another, moving without the ball. And, you know, it's so-so. So we've got to come to some sort of definitive thing here, how we're going to handle it. But right now it's not the winning edge for sure. And passing up stuff, you know, like, I don't get it. I really don't.
Well, that was pretty intense. Moving right along. Number 1, UCLA handled number 8, Ohio State. The expectation was that UCLA would win this game, but the Buckeyes didn't make it easy, going into halftime only down by 6. In the third, Ohio closed that gap to 2, but midway through the fourth, UCLA widened it again. For the Bruins, Betts had 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And for the Buckeyes, Jelani Cambridge had 21 points and 8 rebounds. UCLA was 25% from the 3 with 23 turnovers. That may not work out so well when they play USC. Next up is number 25 Oklahoma State, who gave Kansas State a shellacking, scoring 31 points to Kansas State's 9 in the first quarter. Going into halftime, the Cowgirls were up 51-20. Kansas State couldn't buy a bucket. They had missed shot after missed shot. They did better in the second half, but not enough to make up ground. The Cowgirls' high scorer was Anna Gredasi with 24 points and 6 assists, followed by Shaylee Hurd with 21 points and 11 rebounds. For Kansas State, it was Jalen Glenn with 13 points, then Serena Sundell, who was 4 of 13. Next is the Michigan in-state rivalry, and it ended in unranked Michigan taking the victory over number 20th ranked Michigan State. Michigan State had a rough second quarter, allowing Michigan to go into the half with a 4-point lead. The third quarter was fairly equal, but Michigan was able to widen the lead with a 3-pointer by Jordan Hobbs and a layup by Mila Holloway. The high score for Michigan was Silas Swords with 19 points and 6 assists, followed by Olivia Olson with 14 points and 7 rebounds. The high score for Michigan State was Grace Van Slooten with a double-double, 15 points and 12 rebounds, followed by Nyla Hampton off the bench with 11 points. Ding, ding, ding! In this second round for the SEC, we had number 4 Texas, who learned from their mistakes and was able to get the win over South Carolina. This was another close game, and Texas took round 2. All in all, Texas played a better game. South Carolina had 10 turnovers, and I sat in disbelief every time they missed a free throw. They went 15 for 23 from the free throw line. That's 65%. Now that's just unacceptable, and they were 5 of 19 from the 3, with an overall 36.8 field goal percentage. But I just wanted to make one quick point about an observation I had, and this isn't to say Texas wouldn't have won the game, because they would have. Booker was playing her best game with 20 points and 11 rebounds, and Taylor Jones helped greatly with 11 points. But my point is that it appeared to me that Kayla Oldacre was getting away with some over-the-back rebounds. But that's just me. And second on the list for the SEC Round 2 is number 6 LSU, who quieted number 19th ranked Tennessee fans that were still riding high from the win over UConn. This one was another battle until the bitter end. They did not go down without a fight, but LSU proved to be the better team on this night in Baton Rouge. Yes, some of the calls were questionable, but I felt it benefited both sides for the most part. Ruby Whitehorn was the high scorer for Tennessee with 21 points, followed by Jewel Spears with 19. The top rebounder for the Lady Vols was Alyssa Latham off the bench with 8. And the lady of the evening for the Tigers was Kaylin Gilbert. She was going off. She finished with 23 points, and was 3 of 4 from the 3, and she hit those exactly when they needed them. Following Kayla was Michaela Williams with 16 points and 7 assists, and the double-double queen, Anissa Morrow, can add another to her count, adding 14 points and 14 rebounds. Now we will move on to the must-watch games for Week 16. First off is number 18 West Virginia will face newly added to the top 25, number 25 Baylor. Next up is unranked Louisville that would love to reclaim a spot in the top 25 when they take on 23rd ranked FSU. We also have number 3 Texas will take on number 8 Kentucky, and this game could have huge implications for the SEC rankings. Texas has been playing well together, letting their bigs eat. But Kentucky has some bigs of their own, Clara Strack, Amelia Hassett, and Tioni Key. And let's not forget about the 43-piece that Amore put up against Oklahoma. Also, there's number-ranked UCLA against number 6-ranked USC. And again, this is a must-watch because if USC can shut down bets and keep Juju alive, they might have a chance at breaking UCLA's impressive streak. Also, number 7 UConn will face number 4 South Carolina. Both teams coming off a tough week last week. South Carolina doesn't utilize the press defense like Tennessee, so UConn and Page may feel more comfortable. Also, number 10 North Carolina State versus number 12 North Carolina. North Carolina State started the season with great expectations and dropped to oblivion. Now they are fighting their way back to the top. Also, number 1 UCLA will take on number 22 Michigan State. And lastly, a game that many will tune in for, as some still doubt LSU despite their wins over ranked teams. And LSU will face off against number 3 Texas. As you can see, there are so many great games this week. Our questions are, can USC upset number-ranked UCLA? And will Paige Beckers and UConn come at South Carolina ready to prove that they can hang with the SEC? Let us know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and do so now. Also, comment and subscribe. We will see you on the next one. Have a good one. Goodbye.